Hey guys, Discipline Magic here, and it's time to revive one of my favorite series, and apparently all of yours as well. No, it's not LGS from Hell. Shut up. I wouldn't talk about that place again if I was being waterboarded for information about it. I hate that damn place. It's time for Overlook but Awesome. If you're not familiar with the series, I'm not saying, hey, this card is amazing, put it in your deck. It's not many people have heard of it, or just maybe not everybody has heard of it. I've had some pretty popular cards on here, actually. So it's more like a maybe you missed it thing sometimes. And it's either awesome because it's like, wow, this is a pretty good card. You could win some battles with this. Or, hey, this is really unique. I've never seen anything like this before. Or, holy crap, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Is this really a real card? This would fall into the third category. It's about $1.75. It was printed once as a rare in Ice Age and never again. In fact, I'll go out on a limb and say it's probably never going to be reprinted ever again. This is the most messed up card I've seen lately. Are you ready for it? Amulet of, we'll say, Quos, I guess? Let me start out by saying this is a black bordered card, but it is banned in everything. Hey, make up a new format in your head right now. Boom, it's banned in it. That's how banned this is. You might be saying, but Desolator, nothing is banned from Vintage, it's only restricted. Guess what, princess? This is banned from Vintage, look it up. And by the way, yeah, I know, most of us know that there's at least like 20 cards or something that are actually banned from Vintage. Dexterity cards, anti-cards, I mean, most people know this, but still, on the bandometer, this is a 10. Anybody else picturing that's a 10.exe right now? Because I am. All right, I'm going to read Wizard's version of this, also known as the updated Oracle text, mostly because I legitimately cannot read that small a font on the damn card. I think if I had it in front of me, I wouldn't be able to read it. Apparently, Martha Wells wrote an entire short novel on this card. Just kidding, she had nothing to do with it. Okay, I guess I don't know that for sure, but anyway, remove Amulet of Quos from your deck before playing if you're not playing for Ante. Okay, that's like a lot of like conflicting double negatives and other, it's just odd. So it like even for updated Oracle text. Let me just go through the logical progression of this. If you are not playing for Ante, and keep in mind, it's basically illegal to play for Ante, or so they thought perhaps maybe, because it's gambling. Winner take all, and the cards have a value. I mean, yeah, they're unregistered assets, but so is a lot of things. I mean, I think like gold bars are. Unregistered doesn't mean unvalued. But anyway, if you're not playing for antes, so in other words, yes, remove Amulet of Quos from your deck before playing. So, you know how people are like, oh, Gitaxian Probe, you get to play with 56 cards. With this, you literally get to play with 56 cards. Like, your deck is 56 cards. Now, maybe some of you guys will know this. Back when Ice Age came out, was it still allowed to have more than 4 of a card in your deck? Because if it was, couldn't you just get 53 of these? Actually, back then, God, I don't even remember. Was it 40 cards in a deck instead of 60? Whatever it was, we'll just say it was 60. Couldn't you just put 53 of these in and then start the game with your opening 7 cards? And then have it be like an in-the-hand kill, which probably didn't exist back then, but like, you could do some messed up stuff if this was actually legal. So anyway, if this was legal in anything, bare minimum today, you would be able to like literally play with 56 of these because you'd have to take all 4 out. So the rest of it only applies to if you are playing for ante. Now this is a 6-cost artifact, so that's pretty messed up, but once you get it out, all you have to do is tap it, sacrifice Amulet of Quos, and target opponent may ante the top card of his or her library. If he or she doesn't, you flip a coin. If you win the flip, that player loses the game. If you lose the flip, you lose the game. Activate this ability only during your upkeep, so they get a turn to respawn. That's actually pretty clever to put that on there. So to break it down, they have a choice. You sacrifice it, activate this ability, okay, cool. Let's just ignore ability cloning. Let's ignore just all the messed up crap you could do. Coin flip manipulation where you get to reflip coins, everything. Because there's tons of interactions with this card. Just as it sits. Okay, you activate it and your opponent has a choice. The opponent that you targeted may ante the top card of his or her library. So just straight up, yes, I'm going to ante it, flip it up, cool, add it to the ante pool. Now, I never played when ante was around. I think I missed that by about, 20 years. But I believe what happened was like you flipped up the top card in your deck before you started, and then that was your bet. So the winner gets that, and then it's exiled, it's removed from play, basically, and hopefully it wasn't important to your deck because now you have one less of it in your deck. Now, I think it had to be like a non-basic land or something, or maybe it was the bottom of your library. I don't know. All I know is it was made not a policy, we'll say, very shortly after it was invented. Also, I'm sure all kinds of fights, threats of violence, and rage quitting and running off with the cards so nobody can steal them was very commonplace, I would assume. So what they're saying is, in addition to the one card they anteed and the one card you anteed at the beginning of the game, you are making them ante another card. So if you win the game, you're going to get 2 cards. If they win, okay, their 2 cards go back in their deck, no problem. So you're effectively doubling the amount of potential cards you could win. So your opponent either does that, or they're like, no, flip a coin. So you flip a coin. If you win, you win the game. If you lose the game. So they're either saying, okay, yeah, I'm so confident that I'm going to win the game that I am going to double my ante and we'll just keep playing because I'm going to beat you anyway. You could ante 7 cards. I don't care. I'm going to win. I would assume quite a few people went that direction, actually. Otherwise, the other option is, okay, end the game right now. Nothing matters. Board state doesn't matter. What card is on top of my library doesn't matter. Nothing at all matters. Let's end the game. Coin flip. You win, you lose, I win. Now think about this. If you're the one with Amulet of Quos out and you control it, and you're like, oh, I'm pretty sure I'm going to win the game. Ha! I've got him on the ropes. I want to win double the cards. Boom, let's double the ante. Well, now they could force you into a 50-50. And then let's flip it around. Okay, you're losing the game. Well, throw Amulet of Quos out there because it's the only card you have left. Well, of course they're going to double the ante. You're losing. Who cares? Are they going to give you a 50-50 chance to redeem yourself and turn the game around? Hell no. So your opponent always has the advantage because they're going to make the most intelligent decision based on who appears to be the most likely to win the game. Why would you do this? I mean, this is why most cards that give your opponent an option are incredibly dumb. Unless it's like the lesser of two evils, like what do they call that? Fact or fiction, like the thing that Sphinxes do with 2 piles or whatever. There's variations of it, but that's like there is no win. You're going to get some free cards no matter what, usually. But in this case, this is like, hey, here, make the best decision about how to help yourself turn the game around. I mean, at least your opponent is never going to increase their chance of winning above 50% with this card. So it's not all bad, but the one factor that I have to point out, why the hell is this in your deck? Like, if you've got a really tight deck list, and then you're like, let's throw this in. Like, unless, I don't think affinity for artifacts existed back then. I mean, I think maybe some cards said for each artifact or something like that. They referenced the count. But still, this could have nothing to do with your deck. You're just trying to win more than one anti-card from them. Kind of a dick move, and it's going to backfire because anytime they choose to double the ante, unless you can turn the game around, they probably did it because they're like, I don't care, I'm going to win. I mean, you're already on the ropes, and look what you top-decked. This garbage. So this card is just stupid. The fact that it costs 6 is outrageous. Honestly, the only thing that the Amulet of Quos is good for is wearing to the club because that looks baller as all hell. If you love wearing huge, gaudy, weird-looking necklaces to the club, I mean, this is it right there. I mean, those cheeks, like, what is going on? Some kind of like Fat Albert cartoon going on there. I don't even know what to say about that face. Why on the artwork is there a hand holding it up clearly in the shower? I don't know. You gotta really love your jewelry to shower with it. I'm just saying. There's a lot of questions that we're just never gonna get answered about this card, but there is one thing that I really want to know. One, did you play back then? And did anybody play this card? Like, was this a thing that people actually did? How did it usually work out? Did it backfire? Were people just trying to be greedy with it and it would almost always backfire on them? Or if you didn't play back then, because who the hell did, what do you think this would do to, like, I want to say modern decks, but not literally. I mean, like decks right now in present day. I mean, throw this into standard. How would you react to it? Like pretending that ante was somehow now allowed and then this card was out there. Would you play it? Would you take the risk? And if your opponent played it, what would you do about it? So basically, how would you react to it? And would you bother to put it in your deck? And you know what else? I have never asked this question before, and I don't think I'm going to make a full video on Ante. What do you think about Ante? And do specify if you actually used to play when Ante was a thing. But if you had to Ante a card now, would you do it? I would say no, it's the dumbest thing ever. Losing a card that I paid good money for is completely ridiculous. Playing a lopsided game where, oh, they've got a $20 card on the line and I've got a 10-cent card on the line, that just feels stupid. It's going to affect how you play, unless you're like super pro and super serious about it, but you were supposed to ante even in like casual matches, I thought. I heard that a lot of people didn't. They would just be like, can we just go no ante? I just want to test my deck and have some fun. And people would be like, yeah, but to some people, I guess I heard that ante was half the fun. It added like a thrill to it because now there was actual stakes. Well, to me, there's enough actual stakes with people who are just like mentally addicted to winning. I mean, it's the try-hard net decking douchebags who copy what they perceive as the top deck and they have to win F&M. It's not about the prizes. If they cared about making a return and prize money, they wouldn't have spent $400 on their deck. They would have brought a $30 deck and won $40 worth of prizes with it. So I think just people wanting to win the game is enough. You don't need ante. So, leave out the whole legal, oh, is it gambling? Would the government crack down on wizards? Like all that whole thing is pretty much why it stopped. But just from like a fun and fairness and would you enjoy it standpoint, what do you think of ante? Like I said, personally, I think it's terrible. I would never want to play that way. I don't think I'd even go to F&M if that's how it worked, because if I had like a foil, well, Mythic didn't exist back then, but today a foil Mythic, like a foil Gacela, no thanks, go to F&M, pull your promo, and then, oh, that's your, put it in your deck and that's your ante? Hell no, you don't want to lose that. That's like a collectible. That's so stupid. It's just the whole ante system seems so dumb to me. Getting so shook I just whacked the crap out of my mic filter. You probably heard that. So anyway, if you want to pick this up, like I said, it's about $1.75 on eBay. Damn. Oh, and guys, it's a rare from Ice Age. You know what that means? I checked. It's on the reserve list. Ooh, better buy it up in case they unban it. That'll happen. Yeah, sure, right after Dominaria freezes over. The second time. And hell. But if you like collecting stupid cards like Apocalypse Chime, this is right up your alley. Honestly, I'm probably going to pick one up eventually. So thanks for watching. Check out the rest of this amazing Overlooked but awesome series on the playlist on my channel, and I will see you guys next video.